So let's ask, because we need to know this. Where did the fear of death come from? We need to diagnose the question so God's Spirit can purge the fear of death from you. And it comes from this very plain fact, boys and girls. Man was not created to die. Man was not made to die originally. We were made to live and live eternally. Death is a consequence from our fall into sin as a race. The great misery and great curse in the promise, for in the day that thou eatest thereof, thou shalt surely die. Genesis 2. But originally, Adam and Eve would have lived forever if they did not sin. And do you remember where fear first gripped Adam and Eve? It was after they sinned, wasn't it? That's when you saw fear grip them. They were never afraid of their God until that moment. But they feared when they knew that their sin would bring God's judgment on them. Death does that, friends. Death takes you to the judgment seat of God. Death is something to fear if you do not have faith in Jesus. As I have said over and over again on this Lord's Day, Hebrews 9:27. For it is appointed for man to die once, and then the judgment. Be afraid of that if you are outside of Christ. Because unless the blood of Christ covers you, and unless you have His righteousness that we heard of this morning, the verdict is going to be guilty. But there is another bondage death has over the unbeliever, and this is a bit more subtle and maybe a bit more present. And we need to make sure this is not part of our bondage to fear. And that's the bondage of worldliness. The unbeliever is afraid of losing this world. They're afraid to lose the world because this is all they have. And unfortunately, too many Christians have invested so much in the world that they are afraid to die and lose the world too. But what does it profit a man to gain the world and lose his soul? What are you living for, friends? What is your life defined by? You know, it's staggering, but in Luke 17, the Lord Jesus said when He comes back, what is going to be the response of so many? They're going to go back to their homes and grab their stuff. It is a silly thing when the Son of God comes back in glory to go get your stuff. But that's where their heart is, friends. And what did He say in response? Boys and girls, remember who? Lot's wife. Remember Lot's wife. Whosoever shall seek to save his life shall lose it, and whoever shall lose his life shall preserve it. The world is everything to too many of us, friends. Are you afraid to lose this world? It is often one of the causes for the fear we have of death.
My heart is greatly stirred. I sing a noble theme. My tongue's a skillful writer's pen to speak about the King.